Okay, guys, we are back with more Please Be Happy, and there's just so much going on. There's so much to tell you guys. First of all, I've been having like very bad tendonitis in my wrist. We've talked about that plenty of times. It's like whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Like I guess it does matter. Um, but to combat that for my job and for like other stuff, I got some foot pedals that got delayed, and these foot pedals are stuff like streamers use and what all no and all that good. My brain is farting so bad today. And all that good stuff. Like they'll just like program it so then it'll be like little clicks or hotkeys essentially. So what I did was I connected it so that it would be my left and right clicks so that I could still and my scroll wheel so like I could just go. I guess it doesn't work here. It doesn't. The scroll wheel specifically doesn't work here. That's fine though. I was sitting there like pressing the pedal. And it's like, why is it not? Why is it not working? I don't know. But anyways, so that makes it easier for my wrist because I've been having the tendonitis in my wrist. Just was for me to work and to do this. Like I've been holding off on starting Juliet's route until the foot pedals arrived, just so that I could actually. Where's my armrest? I'm reaching for my armrest. Oh no, gosh, my brain is just I'm built so dumb. I'm built so wrong. Anyways, I've been waiting to start Juliet's route for the foot pedals to get here, just because it'll make it so much easier to play this for my poor wrist. Because I was playing this with my left wrist for all of Aspen's route, just to let my right one heal, because that's where the main tendonitis is at. And then I got tendonitis in my other one, so that's fine. Because I just overused my left one. My left one went from like only doing like 20% of the work to doing 100% of the work, and it did not like it at all, essentially. So now I have the foot pedals, which will help me rest and relax my wrist while I work, while I do my visual novels, while I try to edit. Editing is going to be a little slow with the foot pedals, but it's better than not being able to do it at all or hurting myself to do it. So with all that being said, we're also starting Juliet's route, and I'm so excited. Anyways, we only have 28% of the game left before it's all over, man. Before it's all done, and I do expect this to be a little bit shorter than Aspen's route, just because like we will be skipping stuff, assumedly, like the stuff with like Gerby and Tommy and everything. Like I'm assuming that stuff's not really gonna. It's probably gonna happen, and it's either gonna give us a prompt to skip it, or we'll just skip it. So it's gonna be a faster one, I assume, unless other stuff does happen. I'm not too sure. But yeah, with all that being said, let's just go ahead and get into it. Click. Oh, I love not having to click. It's like the best feeling. It's the best feeling in the world. I love it. You log game. Rest at home with Juliet.
I'm not really in the mood for a movie today, I think. Sorry, Aspen. It's fine. Maybe another time.
Oh, that hurts my heart. That hurts my heart. I want to go to a movie with you, but it's Juliet's turn, baby. Also, I'm not gonna move myself over. OBS freaks out when I try to do that stuff while I'm playing. Please be happy. So let's not do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Aspen gathers her things and departs while Juliet remains in the kitchen with me.
So, you're not gonna go to sleep yet? It's the time you usually do, right?
It is, yes. As I said, I won't be up too much longer, but I have a few tasks that I'd like to finish up.
Like what? Anything I can help with?
Looking around the library, I don't really see anything that needs to be done.
I'm afraid not, although I appreciate it. It's for my research services. You're welcome to keep me company, though, if you'd like.
Sure. I forget you do that sometimes.
I tend to work on it at night, after you've gone to sleep. Come, let's head to my study.
I follow her up the stairs and into her office. She sits down at the desk and opens her laptop, while also moving a stack of books and papers closer to her. I walk around the room a little, examining the shelves. There aren't any bats in the corners today.
I never noticed how many books there are in here.
Although the library shelves downstairs are full, it seems like there must be just as many books in here, maybe even more. Some shelves even have more than one row of them, with stacks built in front of stacks.
Ah, yes. Some of them are old and fragile and not suited to be handled by so many people. Others travel between the shelves down there and up here as I need them. Some aren't books per se, but essays or diaries or treaties.
Treaties? Picking a book at random, I carefully remove it from the shelf and examine it. I'm able to read the sole word on the cover, journal. When I open it up, it's full of handwritten pages. I return it to its place.
And you've read all of these?
Heavens no. I don't think even I've been alive long enough for that. I've read some, of course. Others I've only skimmed through as needed. Still, others were entrusted to me for safekeeping, rather than for their academic or entertainment value.
I take a seat in the chair across from her.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It can be. There have been fewer requests as of late, but I'm honored to be entrusted with them.
Is that only happening on my end? For some reason, Juliet's audio just was like, I'm just gonna get real quiet and muffled. Like the music sounds normal. It was just her audio specifically. That was weird. For some reason, I don't know if it's my headphones or like OBS or like whatnot. But Juliet's audio is like the one that always gets messed up, and I don't know why.
Whether it's a family photo album or half-written novel, many people have memories and legacies that they'd like to preserve, but may not have the means to do so. So I hold on to them here. And over time, generations even, they're sometimes remembered and asked about, or even taken back.
Hang on. Is there options, sound, voice? What is... Can we just go ahead and just all the way? Like, not all the way, but like enough.
Either by the person who first brought them, or by a family member seeking to learn more about an ancestor.
Sorry guys, sorry for the scuff. I don't know what's going on.
There are hundreds of years of history in this room. And I'm not just talking about you and me.
It takes me a second to laugh. I'm not used to Juliet making jokes.
So, what exactly is it you do?
Yeah, no, Miho sounds normal. It's just Juliet that's all like muffled and stuff.
Come here. I'll show you.
Okay, now she sounds normal. Slightly louder than Miho, but that's fine. She gestures for me to join her beside the desk. Turning her computer screen so I can see it, there's a photo of a fabled person with antlers like a deer's.
This gentleman passed away several decades ago. Recently, I was contacted by one of his grandchildren, who was still young when it happened. He said that his grandfather once made it into one of the Wellington newspapers, and was hoping I could find the article.
Did you?
See for yourself.
She gestures to a folded newspaper lying in a stack of papers nearby. It's so old that it's begun turning yellow, and the edges are all frayed. But sure enough, there's a grainy black and white photo of the fabled man, although he's way younger in this picture.
He had taken first prize in a singing competition at a local fair, and his picture was featured along with a summary of the event.
I
I look a bit closer. It's hard to tell, but he's smiling in the photo, next to a trophy.
Whoa. Can't believe you were able to find this.
I hear that rather frequently, and it's rewarding every time. In this case, I've already scanned the article
I
and
wanna
sent
move
it
the
to the
mouse.
grandson, so now I just need to return this paper to its proper place.
This is such like a cool service to run for people. Like the more I'm learning about this, I'm like, I kind of like figure, like I think we've gotten a few hints about like this is what she does, but actually like hear it all out loud, I'm like, this is so cool, what the freak? I walk back around to the other side of the desk and sit down again.
This one was on the simpler side, because all I had to do was peruse newspapers from that time. More complex requests that require consulting multiple sources can take me much longer.
Jeez. I had no idea. They must pay you a lot, right?
Is Juliet gonna be like, nah dog, I do it all for freezies?
No. I don't ask for any payment. The work itself is a reward in its own right. I find it fascinating to revisit so many different past.
That sounds like Aspen talking about books. Visiting other worlds.
Yes, it's quite similar. Although Aspen much prefers fiction and novels to this sort of thing.
Maybe someday you can have a copy of her book in here too.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
Yes, I hope so. Although it would deserve to be downstairs where it can be freely enjoyed by all.
That's an excellent point. When I said, like, that'd be cute, I'm like, yeah, that would be nice to have it up here. But at the same time, I'd assume that, like, she'd want it downstairs so people could read it. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That'd be nice. I hope lots of people read it when it comes out.
Juliet smiles in agreement and begins to open up books and lay out documents. I get up and browse around some more, examining the shelves. She said I could keep her company, but watching the way she's reading so intently, going from source to source, I know I'd just be distracting her if I try. Eventually, I try to quietly slip to the door, but Juliet notices me.
Oh, are you leaving? I'm sorry, I haven't been a very good host.
Hey, Juliet, it's all good. You're working, girl.
It's fine. I can tell you're really busy. Thanks for showing me everything, though.
Of course. Thank you for joining me.
Anytime. You're gonna go to bed after this, right? So, I'll see you later then.
That's right. Have a great day, Miho.
You too. Good night and good luck with your work.
Sorry if there's ever like a slight delay between when I'm clicking it. In my brain, I'm just like, I start reaching for the mouse and I'm like, oh, I have to stop myself. Stop. Click with my feet now. Click with my toes. I almost put a picture. I took a picture when I first got the pedals and I went to put them up on Twitter. And then I went to take a picture of me with it all set up and using it. But it's like, I can't exactly just put my dogs out there for free. You know what I mean? Not on the internet. Not anymore. Waving goodbye, and without missing a beat, I just go right back into it. Waving goodbye, I step out into the hallway alone. Nice. Let's go to Oriental Bay. I'm just enjoying a nice walk on the beach when an intrusive thought makes itself known. Sand. How far does it go? Like beaches always have a definitive cutoff where the sand stops and turns into dirt and streets. But what about down? How far down can you dig and still... Oh, I think we've read this one. And still get sand. Or is there just dirt after a certain point? Wait, let's think about this logically. Sand must be a product of the ocean in some way since it's always right next to the ocean. So sand probably goes... I've never thought about that. So sand probably goes as far as the ocean goes. Huh? But then where do deserts come from? Oh, I think it's better if I don't think about this anymore. Okay, we get one more. Let's go to the botanical garden. I'd intended to take a walk through the botanical garden, but my usual route was being blocked by a small wedding ceremony. I think I've done this one too. I didn't know a place like this would rent out spaces for weddings, but I guess it makes sense. Lots of good scenery for wedding photos. Weddings, huh? If I got married here, what would be the best flower to kiss the bride in front of? Wait. What would be the best flower to kiss the bride in front of? ... Question mark. Oh. Maybe like one that smells really good, so that I'm making a pleasant face if anyone takes a photo. Not that I think any of that will ever happen, but you know, it doesn't hurt to imagine. Oh, gosh, I wish that we got a little bit of like the wedding between like Miho and Aspen in the last one. Like I get it, like skipping past it because that's a huge detail like to skim through. So I'm like, I kind of get it, but it's also like the fanboy in me is like, okay, but we could just keep adding to this, right? Now I do wonder how like the story itself is gonna go. Oh. Later in the evening, Aspen sends a message to Juliet to let her know that she's ready for us to come over, and the two of us walk down to the address she gave us. Juliet leads the way, of course, since I don't know many of the streets by name. I wonder how this is gonna go, this one specifically, because this also happened in Aspen's, I'm pretty sure. We eventually arrive at an unremarkable looking apartment building, just a few stories tall and without many decorations out front.
This is the place. I believe she's on the ground floor.
Not too far away, one of the doors swings open and Aspen pokes her head out to wave us over.
Miho, Juliet, over here. Aspen!
Okay, well now, hang on. I think I'm gonna go to options. Bonk, 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 bonk. I love having this foot pedal. The idea of having to do all this with my broken wrist would be a nightmare and a half. Also, this will make it easier for editing, because, like, I have to balance it, like, so delicately between the music being too loud when I'm talking, like, narrating, essentially, and then, like, the voices of the characters. It's a precarious balance I have to do with the audio, so this will actually make that easier. She holds the door open with one hand while pushing something away with her feet. So yeah, if this looks like it's gonna be the same scene, then I'll probably just, like, skim through it really quick.
No! Stay back, you two.
I freeze halfway to where she is.
What's wrong?
Yeah, it's looking like it's gonna be the same
No,
thing.
not you, Miho. I'm talking to the cats.
I'm gonna read it for like about another minute or two, and if it's still the same, then I'm just gonna like skip through. Aspen gestures for us to come inside while keeping an eye on the floor. Juliet and I hurry in, and Aspen shuts the door behind us.
Ta-da! Or something. Whoa!
That read still gets me. The entire place is just one room except for a small bathroom. Right across from the door is a tiny kitchen area with a fridge, stove, and microwave. Everything else is basically a bedroom. There's a dresser, a small desk with a computer, and Aspen's bed itself. Some luggage and boxes are scattered around, which I'm guessing were part of Aspen's cleanup.
That was the good kind of whoa.
It's lovely, Aspen. I adore the fairy lights and plants. They make it feel very welcoming. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks. It was a good whoa, don't worry.
I didn't really have any expectations, but I'm still kind of surprised by how small it is. Figured she'd been exaggerating that part at least a little bit. The decorations make it feel fitting for Aspen though. Two pair of green eyes sneak out.
Sorry, there's not
Yeah.
more space to sit down. You can sit on the bed if you'd like. Oh, it's fine. I'm okay on.
Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
gonna
Yes.
just
Thank you. This year has been. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah,
you
this
think
is it.
enough about
Even
that.
if there are tiny little changes, it's like 99%. I was thinking like, do I remember that line? I think I do. And then yeah, no, we got the restaurant stuff.
Let me know.
What are you? Well.
Yep. Okay, so there are gonna be repeat parts in here. That's okay. Bop. We're just gonna skip through, baby. Oh, this is a good time to talk about. I also plan to try and make these episodes a little bit longer. For Aspen's route, they all range from about 25 minutes to 30 minutes on average. Obviously, some would go like longer to like 40 minutes to an hour for like the special episodes, like the finales of Aspen's route.
I have it.
And some one or two episodes went like a little bit shorter. But I do try to plan to make these ones about 30 to 35 minutes, which isn't like a, oh my gosh, wow, they're gonna be so much longer. But it's gonna be like a little bit. Just I feel like it helps like keep the flow better because I'm like, in some episodes like a lot will happen, and other episodes it'll be like one or two things happen. So I'm like, I'd rather it be like, I want to like each episode to feel like sufficient. Like if an episode comes out one day, people will watch it and be like, yeah, I got a decent chunk of the story. Essentially, I don't want it to be like, oh well, nothing happened in that episode. You know, granted, to me it never really feels like nothing happens, but I could like sort of see how people could feel that. That's why I also feel about like the and when I say like nothing happens, I mean like we have like one or two scenes essentially in like 30 minutes. And that's how I also feel about the Fate visual novel series that I do. Granted, super not gonna do longer episodes on that on average. The main reason I can't is just because it destroys my throat. I don't know how some people read visual novels like and have to read them in their entirety for like an hour straight without any kind of breaks, because like I can't, my throat can't handle it. If I try to make each of those episodes like 30 minutes or something like that, my throat would be destroyed. The afternoon of Aspen's departure, she's unusually quiet. Although she shows up to breakfast like normal, she barely says a word throughout the whole meal, other than things like yes please and thank you, and no thanks. I think that this is also a repeated thing, but I'm gonna keep checking. From the way she keeps checking her phone and messing with her face and clothes, I can tell something must be on her mind. I figure she's just antsy about her trip, so I don't bring it up or try to talk to her. Instead, Juliet and I mostly chat until we're done eating and the dishes are cleaned up. The moment we're finished, Aspen perks up a little bit.
Are you ready to go to the bus station? Yeah. This precisely. Thank you. Of course.
For gives her hug.
Safe travels, Aspen.
Is she
Will do.
gonna?
Won't have how long? If it was by
Hamble
oh yeah, Patricia and
Is she gonna try and still? Is she still gonna like
Goodbye.
confess
Bye.
feelings to Miho?
we're not too far.
I'm
Should we take a-
confused.
know-
Oh, it's probably gonna be like when we eventually talk to Juliet. It's gonna be
What's
like,
it like
well, how do you feel about
a
Aspen?
lot of the time?
I
No,
don't got those feels for her, is what I'll have to say. And then Juliet might be like,
often.
oh,
It's-
who
it
do you
certainly
have
sounds
feelings
maybe they just
for?
don't
If you
want
do
to.
have any feelings for
Rather
anyone,
like
and I have
that.
to be like,
Sounds like being
you,
quite-
Juliet senpai, you know, like just like that.
Are you looking?
So we're just gonna skip on through these again. But yeah, no, there are like some people, like I talk about him a decent bit in my Fate playthrough. But there's a guy, Tanner of the North, who I watch play Fate Grand Order just so I don't have to read all the story, just because like I used to read all the story for Fate Grand Order, but it is like reading like a chapter of a book between every fight essentially. Sometimes it feels like I'm reading several chapters between fights, which I used to be able to do when I was taking the train to school and whatnot. But now that I'm not, I'm like, I just don't really have the time for it. So I watch someone else play it. But his episodes are like an hour to an hour and a half. And he only gets like little breaks for reading, from reading to do like the fights, but they still go for so long. Stop. No, I can't. Oh, I was hoping that the confession wouldn't happen so that I wouldn't feel bad about saying no to her, because I love Aspen. She's my fave.
I love you. At first I was.
Ah,
I thought
stop.
but now I
Punched
think-
me in the heart. Oh my gosh.
I said tomorrow.
Aspen's in love with me.
That's- if we
I just wonder how that's gonna change. Like, is like the whole bus situation gonna happen where it like breaks down and whatnot?
bye.
Also, this is turning into a leg exercise. Oh my gosh, to mash through all this. I make my way back to the library like a. Oh wait.
Miho,
Aspen's.
give me.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
It's fine. Don't. So,
Yeah. We
and
thought about. I don't even really know.
Hang on.
The other day you talked. This is a.
yes and no.
Okay, I just gotta be careful so I don't accidentally click on anything bad. Hang on, there we go. Okay, wait.
I like.
But as long
This is turning into a leg workout. Oh my gosh.
of course.
Oh, it wasn't happening. I thought, oh yeah, we do at breakfast the next day, right?
Right.
I heard you get up a little.
Boop,
while.
boop,
see.
click,
Yeah.
click, click.
Ma-
We're almost there. And if this isn't where like the split actually happens, which I super duperty thought it would,
Decided.
I don't know what I was gonna do. I don't know how else to activate her route. I don't know how to. Return.
I don't think I can do it. I like Aspen, and I don't want to hurt her. But she's a human, and I just don't think I can do that to myself.
The saddest idea. Listen, to me, being immortal sounds like the dopest shtick ever. And whenever people talk about like, oh, it's not good at all, it's going to get boring after like a few hundred years, I'm like, then you're just bad at entertaining yourself. You're just cringe and you don't know how to have fun, all right? There's like almost never a moment in my life where I'm like bored. I could entertain myself forever. And if you know, if you ever do get bored, freeze yourself. Put yourself into stasis for like 10, 15 years and come back out and be like, wow, look at how everything's changed. The only issue with immortality is the losing everyone else part. So it's a fair argument against it. The words are heavy and hard to say, but it's a relief to say them. Juliet reaches her hand across the table and places it over
I
mine.
understand. I'm sure Aspen will too.
You don't think she'll be mad at me, do you? Or upset? She said she wouldn't, but...
Oh, heavens, no. I'm sure she'll be sad. It would be wrong of me to tell you otherwise. But I also know that she wouldn't want it to affect the relationship you do have. I'm sure she's prepared herself for this possibility and made her peace with it. The only way I can see her regretting her actions is if they somehow sullied your friendship.
No, no way. At least, I hope not. I don't like her any less. I just can't like her more than I already do. Not in the way she does.
I know what you mean. The heart wants what it wants. To try and go against our own feelings is folly. We only end up creating pain for ourselves and others. That's why Aspen chose to share her feelings with you, even knowing they may not be returned. And why it's important to be honest with yourself, even about the things that may be difficult, as you've reminded me time and again.
Oh, that'd be so awkward. I just realized how, because of this being like set up, like Aspen goes, "Hey, I love you," and then we go, "I don't love you." Turns and kisses Juliet. Like, that'd be so awkward, I feel. I feel Juliet's hand slide off of mine as she stands and walks to the window, opening the blinds. Outside, it's that in-between time of evening where the sun has already set, but the sky hasn't become totally dark yet. Though Juliet has no reflection, I can see myself in the window watching her. I wonder if she notices too. My hand tingles where hers covered it just moments ago.
Ever been in love before?
Turning to face me, Juliet has an expression I can't read before replacing it with a fond smile.
There were several times that I thought I was, but later realized otherwise. All of them were before Cassette was born, when I was much more wild.
Imagining a wild Juliet.
I mistook
Okay,
the
whatever.
desires of the body and mind for the desires of the heart. What I had thought was love was really just an attempt to fill something missing, to fool myself into believing it was real. Raising Cassette forced me to be honest with myself for the first time in ages. Perhaps ever. I had never truly cared about anyone other than myself. I just didn't know it until then. For her entire life, I devoted my heart to Cassette, ensuring she had all the genuine love and support that she needed and deserved. Even when she grew up and moved out of our home together, not a day or even an hour went by that she wasn't in my thoughts. Since she passed away, I haven't allowed myself to grow close to anyone else. I couldn't ever again settle for a relationship that I didn't feel with my whole heart.
Her eyes meet mine, lingering for a moment before Juliet turns her attention back to her teacup. Taking a sip, she closes her eyes and sighs with contentment.
I've made do with smaller pleasures. Hot tea, a good book, the company of friends. It's been enough, ever since then.
I know what you mean. I've only had smaller pleasures too.
Much like Juliet, it never occurred to me to want more. A warm place to sleep and a meal that I didn't scavenge were more than luxurious. For a long, long time I've been satisfied with what little I had and couldn't hope for anything else. So I thought. I swish around my cup of hot chocolate, which isn't quite so hot anymore. I don't know how Juliet makes it, but I know it doesn't just come from mixing some water and powder. It's something she makes special every time, just because she knows I like it. Has anyone else ever done something like that for me? Not that I can remember.
I'm not looking forward to telling Aspen tomorrow.
I know. I'm sure it can't be easy.
Like always, she handles my abrupt topic changes without comment.
All I can suggest is to speak from your heart, just like she did. Though it may take her a while, in time, I know that she'll be okay. The best thing you could do is to treat her normally, as if nothing has changed between the two of you.
Right. she's still Aspen.
Exactly. And you're still friends. Nothing can take that away.
I nod, feeling a little better. Juliet and I chat a bit more before eventually I excuse myself and head up to my room for the night. Before I get into bed, I already know it's going to be one of those nights where I toss and turn for hours before being able to pass out. No matter what, I'm not looking forward to letting Aspen down tomorrow. All I can do is hope she understands, like Juliet said, even if it's not what she wants to hear. I'll make sure to not let it change anything between us. Neither of us would want that. Sure enough, it takes a while, but eventually my restlessness turns into exhaustion and I slip into a fretful sleep. Okay, and I think that's a good place to end it here, because I imagine that if this is anything like how Aspen's chapter 3 ended, it's gonna be a big one in the next episode. So I'm like, let's not start that and then have to cut off halfway through. Let's just start that in the next one. So yeah, with all that being said, I'll see all you beautiful peeps in the next one. Bye bye.